color commentator is a sports commentator who assists the play-by-play announcer, often by filling in any time when play is not in progress. The color analyst and main commentator will often exchange comments freely throughout the broadcast, when the play-by-play announcer is not describing the action. The color commentator provides expert analysis and background information, such as statistics, strategy and injury reports on the teams and athletes, and occasionally anecdotes or light humor. Color commentators are often former athletes or coaches of the sport being broadcast. Etymology: the term color refers to levity and insight provided by a secondary announcer. A sports color commentator customarily works alongside the play-by-play broadcaster. Variations: Canada and the United States, commentary teams typically feature one professional commentator describing the passage of play, and another, usually a former player or coach, providing supplementary input as the game progresses. The color commentator will usually restrict his input to periods when the ball or puck is out of play or there is no significant action on the field, and will defer to the main commentator whenever there is a shot on goal or other significant event, sometimes resulting in their being talked over or cut short by the primary commentator. Additionally, former players and managers appear as pundits, carrying out a similar role to the co-commentator during the pre-game show preceding a given contest and the post-game show following it. In American motorsports coverage, there may be as many as 2 color commentators in the booth for a given broadcast. United Kingdom: in the United Kingdom, the term color commentator is relatively unknown. Rather, the role is called summariser, expert summariser, analyst, pundit, or co-commentator. Cricket coverage on cricinfo.com uses similar terminology. Australia: in Australia, the term is not used. Those giving the analysis alongside the main commentator are sometimes said to be giving special comments, or may be referred to as expert commentators. Latin America: for football broadcasts on Latin American sports television channels, this type of commentator is called a comentarista in both Spanish and Portuguese, in contrast with the narrator or locutor who leads the transmission. There is no mention or translation to the term color. Europe: in Denmark, Norway and Sweden, the term expert commentator is used for a knowledgeable sidekick to the play-by-play announcer. In Spanish and Portuguese-speaking countries, the position is known as a commentador, in opposition to the narrator who describes the action. Similarly, in Finland, commentator is used for the second commentator, and selostaja for the main one. In France, the term for a color commentator is consultant, as opposed to the commentator sportif. In Italy, the color commentator is usually referred to as responsible for the commento tecnico, whereas the play-by-play commentator is the main telecronista. In Italy too, the color commentator is usually a person formally directly involved in the sport. Recent Formula One races have no fewer than 3 commentators, the telecronista, a former pilot, and an engineer, the last 2 sharing the commento tecnico. In Turkey, the term spiker is used for both announcers, who are expected to interchangeably act as color commentator and play-by-play announcer. In some countries, the 2-person commentating team is not used as much as elsewhere. In Germany, most broadcasts of sports matches traditionally feature a single play-by-play announcer who also provides commentary, background information, and statistics. If the broadcast is on TV, the announcer will usually not comment on visually obvious things. A 2-person commentating team is used more often for sports where understanding of events depends more on details and subtle visual cues that not everybody might instantly get or might need extra information in order to reasonably understand for example an auto racing or winter sport. In those cases, a current or former athlete or coach is often used as co-commentator or expert. In professional wrestling, though not always the case, in professional wrestling, the color commentator is usually a heel sympathizer as opposed to the play-by-play announcer, who is more or less the voice of the fans as well as supporters of the good guys. Though both are supposed to show neutral stance while announcing, the color commentator are usually more blatant about their stance than the play-by-play announcer. Jesse the Body Ventura and Bobby the Brain Heenan pioneered the heel sympathizer for color commentary in wrestling. Jerry the King Lawler later made a successful transition into the role, though Lawler has since shown more sympathy for faces. In some cases, commentators are also active managers for wrestlers, usually following continuity as heels. Former Extreme Championship Wrestling color commentator Cyrus was known for having dual roles as a heel manager and a somewhat neutral commentator. It has also been used to keep injured wrestlers in the public eye while they recuperate. Special guest color commentators serve a twofold purpose. The primary is usually to place them in position to interfere with a match they are calling, but also serves to tell the promoters if this performer can talk on his own in the ad-lib-driven commentary role. References